Bex Fine Art, here to bring you another fun little tip. So I've gotten a bunch of questions about my video, how to add resin to your Hydro Flask and how you can cut off the drips from it if you're not using a cup turner. So I don't have a Hydro Flask to show you, but I do have one of my color changing mugs that I'll show you how to cut the drips off, and it'll be exactly the same for cutting it off of a Hydro Flask. Just to show you the drips right here. So it's pretty easy. You just want to make sure that you really take your time with it. That way you don't damage the rest of the resin. So let's go ahead and look at our materials. Okay, so aside from your mug or your Hydro Flask that you're cutting these lovely drips off of, you'll really only need a couple things. First, you need a heat gun. I got this off of Amazon for like $10. And it's definitely a better tool than a blow dryer because it gets a lot hotter, so it will make it way easier to heat up the resin. An X-Acto knife to cut off the drips. You can also use a razor blade, but I like the X-Acto knives just because they're a little bit easier to handle and you don't have to worry about the blade moving as much like you might with a razor blade. And last is an electric sander. Now this will make your life so much easier if you have access to one of these. Okay, so here is my cup with the drips on the bottom. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use my heat gun to heat all of this up, and then I'll be using my X-Acto knife to cut it off. So you'll know that the resin is ready to be cut when you can kind of bend it a little bit so it's a little softer. So I'm not going all the way down to the bottom rim of the cup. I'm pretty much just going to cut off the top parts of the drips because this will make it easier for me to actually sand it down. So this is what I do for sanding. So for sanding, I try to hold the mug as level against the sander as I can. I also like to rotate the sander a little bit to help make sure that it's even. Now, on the ceramic mugs, I try not to sand it down all the way because I found that there were air bubbles in between the resin and the paint when I was sanding it down all the way. So you can see that it's still smooth. So after you sand it, you want to make sure you place it on a level surface to see if it's actually level or as close to level as it can be. So I've got a pretty level countertop, but you can see I've got just a little bit of a rock, so that means that I need to sand it down just a little bit more. Now it is gonna maybe be slightly uneven because again I'm trying to keep it so that way the resin doesn't go all the way down to the base of the cup, because having this layer of resin around the base actually helps to protect the cup a little bit better. So here's what the final sanded down looks like. So no, it's not necessarily the most pretty on the bottom. Important is the durability. So we want to make sure that we're protecting the painting as much as possible. So if that means that the bottom's not as pretty or even just slightly unlevel, I would rather have that than the potential to ruin the painting. So you can see it's pretty level, just a tiny bit of a rock, but it's all right because again, I don't want to sand it all the way down to the bottom. All right, everyone, I hope you found this tidbit helpful, especially if you don't have a cup turner right now. I do really suggest you get one if you are going to be painting tumblers. You do have to figure out sort of a unique approach to it if you're making coffee mugs, because most cup turners aren't tall enough to be able to fit the coffee mug on it because it'll just be hitting the ground or the counter. I know that's what this looks like, right? You totally got that from that demonstration. Awkwardness. All right, so make sure you like and subscribe. Let me know if there's anything else that you would like to know about resin and all that fun stuff. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, and all my social media channels are at Bex Fine Art. See you next time.